This is a video to explain the Admiral design. Firstly, if you navigate to the Admiral homepage and you scroll down, you'll see a section titled Admiral Manifesto. This explains how we really prioritized when designing Admiral that we wanted to build a toolkit which is simple to adopt and enables to produce readable and easily constructible ADAM programs. The four design principles we focused on to achieve this goal were usability, simplicity, findability, and readability. Now, a lot of people ask, why did we not just consider creating high-level wrapper functions for each ADAM so that you could just create every piece of the ADAM in one function call? So for example, for ADSL, you could imagine one function with many arguments, and each argument makes a choice around the derivations you need to do for that ADSL. We found in the past with company-specific approaches like this, often the tool becomes somewhat of a black box. It becomes difficult for the users to understand. It's not very transparent, and ultimately it ends up requiring a lot of pre and post processing for the users to get their protocol-specific needs. So instead, when we designed Admiral, we focused on modularity. So if I show you an example of the ADSL template from Admiral, you'll see it's very much broken down into step-by-step functions grouped with similar needs, such as treatment variables. The benefits that we believe of doing it this approach are, firstly, the readability. It's a lot easier to see step-by-step what is going on, and this should form a much better basis for a readable code submission to a health authority such as the FDA. We also believe it's a lot more usable because you have flexibility to adapt each function call. So you can change anything here for your specific protocol needs, or if you have a different SCTM mapping in your study that warrants a need to change the way this function is working currently. And it also gives you the option to add and remove blocks of code. There may be a study, for example, which doesn't need to look at defs. So you could delete this block of code, or you could insert your own functions and slot them in any section of the code. One of the major setbacks of this, obviously, though, is the amount of lines of code needed. And this can be really highlighted when you look at a BDS example where we have multiple or many parameters, and you could build really, really long blocks of code because you're just bolting each function call on top of each other. We recognize that this is a con of the approach that we've used for Admiral, but one recommendation we do have is you could use tags in your headings to create tables of contents. So by using these 4 dashes, we've been able to add an RStudio table of contents, and then it's easy to move between blocks of your code. And if you no longer need a section, it's easy then to highlight it and remove. Overall, though, if you're coming back to this main page, if you read through this section, this Admiral Manifesto, hopefully this really explains why we focus on modularity and why we believe the design of Admiral is most suitable for the entire industry. Thank you.